Welcome back to the third part of our 5-part series discussing Access Football 20 and its current beta that is available for Patreon subscribers, which you can actually subscribe to in the description below. I'm not getting any kind of kickback for that, by the way. It's just letting you know if you want to get in on this beta. They are releasing the final version of the beta here this week, or at least that's the plan, so you can definitely get in on the final version of what this game will more than likely look like. But of course, there's plenty of time to squash some bugs. But before we get into any of that, my name is Brian. Welcome to the channel. If you are new here, get subscribed, turn on that notification bell. It's the easiest way to stay up to date with brand new videos and live streams right here on the channel. And of course, if you could also do me a favor, hit the like button because that's how more people will find this channel just like you did. Now, before we get started with all of this, like I said, this is a beta of Access Football 20. This isn't the final version of the game, so there's still, some things that could still be worked on. And in the meantime, just got to let you know about that because it's you just gotta know, okay? It's just part of the housekeeping. And also, if you have any questions that you want answered come Friday during our live stream, let me know in the comment section down below because we'll take all those questions. We'll answer them for you on Friday. Now, today, we are going to go over the draft because this is one of the biggest changes of the game this year. And now, you might notice that we're right at the beginning of the season. So what we're going to do is we're going to simulate as far as we can into the game here. So we're going to go simulate game. And while I do this, you're actually going to be able to see in real time how quick it is to simulate through things. Now, we're already through 2 weeks just like that. Now, just comparing it because, it's going to get compared naturally as it did last year and it will this year. When it was maximum versus Access, the simulation, as you just saw right now, those instantaneous. That's pretty close to what it was like last year too. And that was one of my biggest complaints about Maximum was the simulation side of it. You would spend 5 minutes or at least close to just simulating the entire league or the entire country, where that right now just simulated through like that. Now, granted, you're simulating about 50 games over there where you only simulate about maybe 16 here. But still, it's click and that literally might be less than 2 seconds. And so far, Arizona's 3-0, 4-0. 5-0. Now, we're probably not going to get any good draft picks here, which might be good. You might get to see a tier championship in the meantime. Now, I did see a question yesterday, and I guess I'm going to answer this now since it just popped up. When it comes to badges for coaches, they are dynamically earned. So Darren Charles just earned one over the course of 5 weeks. So it's going to be the boost to all the defensive line attributes. Simulating here. We're still undefeated. And we finally lost. We finally lost to San Francisco and lost decidedly, might I add. Now, over here, by the way, if you're interested, 6-1, this is the current record. And San Francisco was also the top team in our tier as well. So we'll probably see them in the playoffs. But this number over here, I do believe is the point differential between, how many points you've scored versus how many you've allowed. It's a good way to gauge how your team is doing overall when it comes to the scoring side of it and letting up points. San Francisco's on a 6-game winning streak, so they started the year off 0-1. So we were first place for quite a while. And 2 losses back-to-back, that's going to hurt. And it's a 4-way tie. 3 losses in a row, starting off 6-0. All right, we got one of our wins back, but playoffs aren't necessarily guaranteed. Another loss. Okay, so look at that. As we keep simulating here, it's nice. As we go, you can see the funds increasing. You can see the morale increasing. And the funds are increasing due to other things that are going on within the game itself. So like the facilities. We kind of skipped over some of this yesterday. But you can add things like when it comes to the stadium. So luxury boxes, vendor areas. So this is how you're going to earn money outside of this is how you're going to earn money. So people are going to spend money on those luxury boxes. Having nicer luxury boxes means you're going to have nicer, more people buying it. All right. Now, going back to this, we're going to go ahead and keep simulating here. So as our funds keep increasing, be able to sign players, and team morale just keeps going way up. So as you see here, as I said about the Sharks, probably going to find them in the playoffs. And let's go ahead and find out if we move on. We will move on to the tier championship game. And bam, look at that. Against Oklahoma City. Now, this is the tier 2 bottom of the barrel. This is to move up, all right? And it looks like we did. So we're promoted to tier 2, which is cool. And that means they got demoted to tier 3. Now, had, I don't know what team this is, had the Tornadoes or whatever, had they won, they would have obviously stayed in tier 3, would have stayed in tier 2. So it's pretty cool. Green Bay, look at that, tier 1 champions. I do want to kind of just see this, by the way, because their quarterback is me. So look at that. League leaders tells me. Awesome. That's good to know. We simulated the first season, and the top passer in the league was me. Now, I'll be my biggest fan elsewhere. Team morale, 100. Not bad. Of course, it should be, considering we just bumped up ourselves in tier. Now, it's time for the draft. this is why you're here, right? Start draft. So, right here, Washington's on the clock, and immediately this wasn't here last year. You have on the clock, and it's only 10 seconds, but right on the bottom you got the draft order. We're not going to go for a while, but it's really cool. Right off the bat, you see what Washington needs to focus on. So points scored, points allowed, and rush yards. Their defense is terrible, and you even hear like a little tone. And look at that, they drafted an A+ overall running back. Now I probably would have went defense maybe, but I don't know. Maybe not with the number 1 pick, but Cincinnati also has a lot of things they need to work on. Obviously, they're drafting number 2. Now, this is just such a cool overlay. I'm not sure if you guys have seen what Access has done with this, but this looks very, very much like a television presentation, and it's so awesome. Like the transitions right there with the cross dissolve between the areas of need in the actual draft itself. And this is just another layer on top of the immersion aspect that keeps continuing to improve. Now, last year, like I said, it was literally you're just looking at a list of players to pick and you saw the draft summary. That was it. This is such a huge improvement compared to what they had last season. And Miami Warriors end up getting A+ offensive lineman, which that's some a little realism too. So you're going to have teams that will pick based off their needs. An offensive lineman at pick number 3, that's happened. Like Joe Thomas was a very high draft pick for a good reason. Also a Badger on Wisconsin, but you will find things like that. Now Buffalo, they had the 36th ranked rushing and 36th ranked passing, so their offense was terrible. Now Willie Fernandez, that has a B overall offensive lineman. The reason why it's a B and they picked him is because their scouts didn't do very well for them. So their scouts were reporting probably an A+ tier player, and his actual value was at a B. Now you got New York here, the Barons. Another bottom of the barrel team here. See what they go with. They go with a linebacker here. Again, their scouting wasn't up to task. A B is not bad by any means, but in the top 5, you don't want to draft a B player. That's just the facts. Now, let's go over here to the player pool. Now, the time will stop here. As you can hear, there's no chime. So, I mean, it's not going to rush you. So, like, if you see that you're up, like, for instance, let's just skip to our pick. Live draft, we're 11th. So, we're 11th because we were in a lower tier, all right? And as we look here, Devontae Tannehill is the highest estimated overall that is available. Now, we want to look over here at our team guide and our team summary. Now, this will show you who we got so far. So we're going to pick in, we got number 11 every single pick. I do believe I'm making a trade. So we got 7 rounds. Draft summary kind of shows you everyone's been picked so far. Now, even a C+ was picked number 6. So, I mean, again, scouts are big. Just keep that in mind. Now, go to team guide here. We can kind of see what we need. So, as we can tell, our punter. I thought our quarterback was first for some reason. A punter, obviously, is not going to be our first choice. We're not going to talk about punters until you may not at all. I mean, that might be a free agency thing for you. Now, offensive lineman, I could heavily consider here. Now, if Jacob Hill is truly a B+ player, that's not bad. That's not bad at all. We do have a couple C tier players on our offensive line. And of course, also tell you our best available that we could pick. Again, we're not going to pick a kicker right off the bat. A B at age 25, I'm not in love with drafting someone right now. I mean, especially someone just a couple years younger and only a B+. If it was an A+, maybe an A overall, then I'd consider maybe picking up a quarterback. But he's a B. It's something we can work with. A B+, same here. Now, of course, estimated overall, do I want to waste the pick on a wide receiver when we have a decent wide receiver? Maybe. I mean, it's something to consider. Offensive line is probably my biggest need right now, so I think I'm going to try and focus on that. So let's just go find an offensive lineman. We go here. That's quarterbacks. And as you can kind of tell, it's not separated by centers, guards, and tackles, but they're kind of interchangeable within the game. Now, of course, at this point, we're kind of just hoping that the scouts we had over the course of the season did a good job. We're going to pick Jacob Hill, just consider he's a B+ as an overall estimate. But let's start with him, draft player, and see if we found our exact pick here. So we go over here. And it turns out he was a C+. So it was an entire letter grade lower. So our scouts weren't doing their job very well. He was literally an entire letter. That's like going from an 89 on a test to a 79. That's what we just did. Now, an 89 player, that's almost an A. That's awesome. And 79, it's almost a B. Almost a B. That hurts, obviously. So this is why picking your right scouts is so crucial. So that's kind of I don't want to like spoil the entire process for you so you can do it yourself, but this is just kind of the lay of the land, what you should be expecting. Team guide, obviously, here is going to show you the whole picture for what you did this season. Now, points allowed, 444 points, not good. So, I mean, I think we'd be focusing a lot on our defense here eventually. But like I said, quarterback, I'm not going to be too worried about. And I don't know if I like punters showing up in areas of need just based on the overall. This is why it shows up, because our overall is a C when there's an estimated B available. But yeah, I'd be focused on defense right now. Offensive lineman, if these guys don't pan out terribly, or this guy, he's on both of them. This guy doesn't pan out terribly. But again, this is cool. This is such an impressive improvement over last season. It's unbelievable. It seriously is. It's so cool. Now we can speed up fast. This drops the time very fast, drops it even further, or very, very slow. But this is just a cool team summary here. As you obviously go over there, draft summary shows everybody. I mean, at this point, I kind of showed you all the screens here. But that's pretty much it for the draft. I don't want to spoil everything for you. So once Access Football comes out here in about a month or so, you can jump into the draft once you complete your season. Or if you're one of those people that like to simulate seasons, then you'll get to this point. By all means. But I want to know your thoughts about the draft sequence here, the new draft experience with Access Football 20. It's just getting better, folks. So leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. Like this video if you haven't already. Again, we'll be back tomorrow morning. All right, you ready for this? Tomorrow morning for the full gameplay reveal of Access Football 20. So we'll play through an entire game. And then later on in the day, we'll be doing a live stream, answering any questions. And if everything's up to snuff on the internet side, we'll also be live streaming a game as well, or doing some kind of gameplay with it. But in the meantime, I want to thank you for your support. Subscribe, like, share, all that stuff. In the meantime, thank you and party on.